Welcome back, history lovers. Tonight, we step into the scandalous world of ancient Rome. This is not a tale for the faint of heart. It's the shocking, lurid, and tragic life of Valeria Messalina, the young empress who turned the Roman palace into a brothel and nearly toppled an emperor. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Because trust me, you don't want to miss more unbelievable true stories from history. A beauty too dangerous for Rome. From the moment Valeria Messalina was born, she was unlike any other child. Her skin was said to be as pale as snow, her lips red like ripe berries, her presence enough to stir whispers among neighbors. As she grew older, her beauty became undeniable. Raised in a noble Roman family, she was not only strikingly beautiful, but carried herself with grace and charm. Her name quickly spread through the city as young men lined up, hoping for a glimpse of her. But Messalina's beauty was a double-edged sword. Rome at the time was a city of excess filled with banquets, games, and carnal indulgence. Surrounded by temptation, Messalina herself fell victim to desire. Even as a teenager, she indulged in fleeting affairs and physical pleasures, leaving behind a long list of lovers. A child bride to an aging emperor, despite her reputation, Messalina's beauty captivated the Emperor Claudius. At nearly 50 years old, Claudius was a powerful ruler, but physically frail and awkward. He was a man who stuttered when he spoke, and walked with a limp, hardly the image of a vigorous emperor. At just 15, Messalina married Claudius and became his third wife. For him, it was love. For her, it was a throne. Within 7 years, she bore him 2 children, Claudia Octavia, a daughter destined for political marriage, and Britannicus, a son who would one day become heir to Rome. Claudius adored her. He showered her with privileges, wealth, and influence. To him, Messalina was not just a wife, she was a goddess. But to Messalina, Claudius was little more than an obstacle to her endless hunger. The Empress of Lust Claudius was a capable emperor. He expanded the empire, built aqueducts, harbors, and magnificent public works. But the greatest mistake of his reign was his blind devotion to Messalina. The young empress was insatiable. The old emperor could never satisfy her. So she began sneaking lovers into the palace. What began as private affairs soon spiraled into something unimaginable. Messalina transformed the imperial palace itself into a brothel. Hidden chambers were built within the palace walls. There, Messalina played the role of a courtesan, welcoming noblemen, senators, and aristocrats. Each man who spent a night with her left behind a single coin, a token, to prove their conquest. The Empress of Rome reduced herself to a prostitute, but one of the highest rank. And she did not stop there. At night, Messalina would disguise herself as a common prostitute, roaming the city's brothels and dark alleys. She craved the thrill of anonymity, of sleeping with men who had no idea they were touching the Empress of Rome. A contest of shame, Messalina's lust was so boundless that she even challenged Rome's most famous courtesan, a prostitute named Scylla, to a competition. The rules were simple. Whichever woman could sleep with the most men in one night would be the victor. The night was long, filled with endless indulgence. By dawn, Messalina emerged the winner, having outlasted even Scylla. The Empress of Rome had proven herself the most debauched woman in the empire. The dangerous lover, but Messalina's lust was not limited to fleeting encounters. Among her many lovers, one stood above the rest, Gaius Silius, a young, handsome, and ambitious senator. With her influence, she elevated him to powerful positions within the government. Silius was forced to divorce his wife to continue the affair. He knew it was dangerous, but he could not resist the empress. Even when he tried to distance himself, Messalina pursued him relentlessly, showering him with gifts, wealth, and endless passion. Claudius, ever blind, remained devoted to his wife, never suspecting betrayal. A secret wedding, a deadly plot. After a year together, Silius pushed for more. He wanted to marry Messalina outright. Drunk with lust and ambition, she agreed. While Claudius was away on state business in Ostia, Messalina staged a wedding inside the palace itself. Senators, courtiers, and guests attended as she married her lover, while still the wife of the emperor. But Messalina's betrayal went beyond adultery. With Silius, she conspired to assassinate Claudius and seize the throne. She believed that with the emperor gone, Rome would accept her and her new husband as rulers. It was treason in the highest degree, betrayal exposed, but Rome had eyes everywhere. A loyal advisor exposed the plot, rushing to warn Claudius before it was too late. The emperor was shattered. The woman he had loved, defended, and trusted above all others had humiliated him, betrayed him, and plotted his death. The Senate was horrified. The court turned against her. Claudius, humiliated and furious, ordered the execution of Silius without hesitation. The young senator who once dreamed of power was dragged to his death. The last moments of Messalina was given a choice: take her own life with dignity, as was the Roman way, or face execution. But the once bold empress trembled. She could not raise the dagger to her chest. Her courage, once so fierce in passion and manipulation, abandoned her in the face of death. Finally, a soldier stepped forward and struck her down. The Empress of Rome died not as a queen, but as a disgraced woman, remembered for lust, betrayal, and treason. Erased from Rome, Claudius was broken by the betrayal. In his grief and anger, he ordered Messalina's name to be erased from all public and private records. Her statues were torn down, her memory condemned. Once hailed as a beauty beyond compare, Valeria Messalina was reduced to nothing more than a cautionary tale, a warning of what happens when beauty, lust, and ambition consume a soul. And that, dear viewers, is the shocking story of Rome's most infamous empress. If you were surprised by this tale, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with friends who love dark and scandalous history. Because in history, truth is often stranger and far more shocking than fiction.